Hey everybody, I'm Kenya and welcome to my YouTube channel. So on today's video, I just want to share like my top feminine hygiene tips, right? So I grew up with my dad, and so a lot of like things when it comes to being a woman and taking care of yourself, I had to learn on my own. And growing up, like I couldn't just log on to YouTube because YouTube wasn't a thing. I couldn't go on social media. Like there was nobody to get this information from, and so a lot of things I learned the hard way, and a couple of things I literally learned this year. Yes, I'm still learning things every single day. First things first, number one, wear cotton panties. I feel like natural fibers down there is a must if you want to like keep your area healthy. So cotton panties, like that's not something that anybody taught me. And even if you wear like, you know, satin panties or lace panties, that part that's like on your panties, like where your actual vajayjay goes on top, that piece should be cotton. But I recommend cotton panties. So number two, right, I personally always wear nightgowns to sleep. So I just wear like an oversized like nightgown, like Victoria's Secret sells them, like the button-up ones that's like a long sleeve. That's what I personally like to wear every night to sleep. And I don't wear panties when I'm sleeping. And my maternal grandmother would always tell me, like, when you go to sleep at night, you don't wear any panties because your vajayjay has to, it needs air, like that has to breathe. It's an, I'm trying to say it in a very PG-13 way, and not in a way that my grandmother would say it, okay? But she would say, you know, that's an opening, just like you breathe like out of your mouth, that has to breathe too. So at night that shouldn't be covered. That needs to, you know, if you get what means, like, all right? So I don't wear panties at night. I put my nightgown on and I just go to bed. Number three, right, I learned this year, yes, at my big age. So last November I got a UTI, a urinary tract infection, for the very first time. The pain, I remember calling my doctor's office. She was not in the office. I believe she was on vacation. I scheduled an appointment with urgent care. I was zooming down the street, bust that corner, police right behind me, pull me over. And I'm like, officer, I know I shouldn't have bust that corner like that, but I'm in so much pain. I gotta go to the urgent care. I'm the last patient. Just let me run in, tell them that I'm here, and then y'all can give me a ticket. That's how in pain I was. Yes, all right. And the doctor kept giving me like antibiotics. I was going through this UTI situation for like 6 months, and then I had a bladder infection where like I could not hold my urine. So I saw a TikTok where this lady was talking about Mexican sulfur soap, right? That gets rid of all types of like everything. I couldn't find like Mexican sulfur soap. Like, I don't know where to get it from. I started using Dial soap. Normally I would use like the Castile soap. What is it? The liquid Castile soap. I think it's called Magic Soap or something, but I would use that. In addition to getting UTIs and having a bladder infection, I was dealing with also reoccurring yeast infections. Literally, it did not start until the end of last year. First I got a UTI, and then I got a yeast infection for the first time in my life. Never had any vagina issues, right? I was dealing with that for like a year. The yeast infections, the UTIs, maybe 6 months. The yeast infections I was dealing with for a year. Literally up until like probably October of this year, I was dealing with it. Going to the OBGYN, getting prescriptions. They were prescribing me pills, and then like the cream. It kept happening. So I normally use Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. That's what I used to wash up with, and then I'll like go over it, like I'll use like Dove because my skin is very, very dry. And that wasn't working. So I went to ShopRite, the local grocery store, and I got me the Dial soap, the yellow bars, and I would like lightly wash my lady parts with the Dial soap. I'm telling you right now, whatever is in Dial, it got rid of whatever was going on, I feel like, personally, down there. Let's knock on some wood that I don't have to deal with this situation anymore. Like, that was the worst. UTIs and yeast infections, like, and I would hear the girls talk about like this stuff on TikTok and bacterial vaginosis and stuff, and I could never relate until this past year. Number 4, gym clothing. If you're going to the gym and you just worked out, I mean, you've got it in. Shower. That's why the gym has showers. You want to shower at the gym, or you want to go straight home, shower, and change your clothes, change your panties, take off those gym clothes, those sweaty gym clothes. That can disrupt your vaginal health, and you'll end up with yeast infections, maybe bacterial vaginosis or UTIs, because the doctors told me that the UTI is like bacteria. You don't want that. Change your clothes. And I see it all the time when I'm watching YouTube influencers. They go to the gym, work out, and now they go to Target, they go to the mall, they go on throughout the whole day after just doing a serious hot yoga session. No, you need to change. And I feel like a lot of the materials that gym clothing are made with is not materials that you should be walking around and sweating. So yeah, let's change our gym clothes expeditiously. Number 5, you want to use unscented like products, pads, feminine wipes, feminine washes, if that's your thing. Like, I only use feminine wipes. Like, I don't use like the washes. My pads are unscented. So we want to stay away from scented stuff because there are chemicals used to make those things scented, which most of the time are not natural. These are not things that are good for our lady parts. So let's avoid like anything scented down there. All right. Number 6, you want to drink water. I personally drink a lot of water, and I say drink water because when I was experiencing UTIs, one thing I would do is I would get a tall bottle of water and just gulp it, and I feel like it would suppress whatever, like the pain would just go away. For at least, it would be a day at least. Even if only for a day, there's something about drinking a bunch of water I feel like helped reduce that pain of a UTI. Constantly running back and forth to the bathroom all day as well. And also, I feel like when you're drinking water, like, it's healthy for your lady parts. Like, we're all grown here, right? We're grown, right? If you ain't grown, cover your ears for this part. But even like when you're engaging in sexual activity, when you don't drink water, like, drink water so that your lady parts are good and fresh. I feel like that's very important. People talk about eating pineapples and all this extra stuff. Drink water. And I just feel like drinking water is good overall health-wise anyway. Have you ever met somebody who is like an alcoholic and like all they do is drink, and like it comes out of their pores? Like, you can smell the alcohol on them. It's because they're not consuming enough water. So if they drink enough water, you wouldn't be able to, like, the alcohol wouldn't be coming through their pores, I feel like, as strongly. Does that make sense? And so I feel like when you are drinking water and you are about to engage in, you know, an activity, your stuff should be, you know, nice and fresh. Okay, now, I hope this doesn't come off as like I'm a prude and like, you know, I am just so fresh, I'm just the cleanest person ever, I'm so clean. Like, that's not what I'm trying to give. But seriously, you don't want to be smelling like you ain't living right, okay? So live right and drink water. And if you're somebody that's like, I don't like water, it's nasty, I don't like the taste of water, I never drink water, add lemon. Add you a splash of lemon, okay? I don't suggest sugar. Add a splash of honey or something. But drink water. And if all else fails, if none of these tips are working, you might need to change your man. Yeah, get you a new man.
One nigga don't work, get another one. If that nigga don't work, get another one. And if that nigga don't work, get two.
These are just like my hygiene tips that I do for myself. I feel like all these things are pretty natural. I feel like these things are all natural. And even when I was experiencing like yeast infections back to back, I also tried, in addition to the creams that my doctor prescribed and the pills that they prescribed me, I saw the ladies on TikTok talking about boric acid, like tablets. I even tried that, and I would just have like, this is TMI, but like just fluid just running down, gushing down. And I don't even feel like, I feel like that would work for like 2 to 3 days. I would feel fine, and then I would be back to the same itchy and just irritation. And I feel like that dial soap got me together. But I'm still on a hunt for Mexican sulfur soap that I heard the Mexican ladies on TikTok talking about. They said that that gets rid of like yeast infection, bacterial vaginosis, trichomonas. Not too much on my pronunciation. I can't remember how to say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. So these are the tips that I've been doing for myself this past year, and I'm Gucci. And I'm gonna go into the new year Gucci, okay? No UTIs, no yeast infections, no bladder infections. Cross his fingers, okay? And so I just wanted to share that just in case anybody else is dealing with what I went through. And also, another one that I forgot, I started to get unscented feminine wipes, and I would make sure that I wipe myself with those every time I went to the bathroom. And when I was experiencing my yeast infections, I would like literally, I work from home most of the time, but changing your panties multiple times a day. Don't sit around when you got vaginal issues in the panties. Change them. Get you some panty liners, line your panties, change the panty liners. That's what I did. And we'll be going into the new year Gucci, okay? And so I just wanted to share that with you ladies, just in case you're like me and you had to learn everything on your own because you didn't have a mom around to teach you. And so if you made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you for kicking it with me today. Leave your hygiene tips in the comment section. Hey, I might learn something new from your comment. And I will see you in my next YouTube video. Toodles.